This is a No One Go Storm Alert. Here's Jonathan O.
I'm meteorologist Jonathan O reporting to you from Tokyo. This is a No One Go Storm Alert. Typhoon Hagibis has not even made landfall at this point, but we're already seeing the impacts from this particular storm, enough to where, sadly, we already have a report of one person who has died, and also 5 people, including children, who have been injured from this storm. We talked about this all throughout the week, that the concern is the storm has a large area of influence. Because it is so big, the chances that we're going to be dealing with impacts all throughout the day on Saturday are coming true. We didn't want the storm to be like this. We were concerned that the storm could be an all-day and even potentially an all-night thing, but it would have been better if we could have just gone through the storm with it mainly moving offshore. That's not the case. It's coming exactly the way that we had been fearing in terms of the storm. This is a 6-hour loop of the satellite imagery. So for those of you who may not be able to see this as clearly, so here's the coastline. Tokyo is located right around here. Here's Shizuoka Prefecture with the Izu Peninsula. The storm is making that northeasterly jog at the moment, and it's been bringing a tremendous amount of rain for the area. So as we go through the mid-afternoon hours, the storm will continue to make its influence known, and we will continue to see the storm bringing a huge amount of rain. This is the Doppler radar imagery during the 1 o'clock hour. Areas that are in magenta, these really dark red spots, that is a radar estimate rainfall rate of 80 millimeters per hour. We're concerned that over the next 48 hours, so as we go throughout the day on Saturday and even into the day on Sunday and through the day on Sunday, we can see accumulations hitting about 1 meter of rainfall. Just think about that. That is a huge amount of water that's falling on the ground. Here is the Izu Peninsula, and we've already seen a lot of rain near Gotemba, also into the western portions of Kanagawa Prefecture, western areas of Tokyo Prefecture, all seeing heavy rain. And this is just one of the waves of rain that have moved through at this point. Wave after wave of rain continues to roll through the area, and we will continue to see this pattern as we go through the afternoon. In fact, it's going to get worse as we progress on through the day. Here's a look at the tropical tracker. The storm center is way off, but we do have severe tropical storm force winds now already on shore into the Kii Peninsula and also into Shizuoka. Eventually, we'll see places like Chiba Prefecture, Kanagawa Prefecture getting in on these stronger winds. And the closer we get to the core, the stronger the winds are going to be. Those of you along the coastal areas need to get away from there because the storm surge can be particularly high. We're concerned that waves can get as high as 13 meters over into the Kanto coastline. So Hagibis is still large. It's still very strong. It will maintain its strength this way until we go into the nighttime hours, likely. This wind speed of 162 kilometers per hour with gusts up to 216. The pressure is sitting at 945. So little by little, we're seeing the pressure weakening, but the strength of the storm is still being maintained. We are expecting a potential landfall sometime after sunset. I mean, the center point of the storm is likely to be near the Izu Peninsula. The previous tracks during the week had this thing jogging and wobbling a bit. Some tracks would have taken it a little bit farther toward the west, and some of it taking a little more toward Chiba Prefecture and Kanagawa Prefecture. If it takes a more easterly track, then it would be similar to what we had with Foxeye when it moved through just a few weeks ago. But either way, the certainty is so high at this point. The concern with the storm moving toward the north and east is that we are going to see the greatest impacts in an area that does not need this type of situation, Chiba Prefecture, which has already been hit by this particular type of storm just a few weeks ago. So the storm will continue to move onshore, likely around 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, which is the window that we've been thinking that this will be happening, and that will continue to be the case as we go throughout the evening hours. The storm will then deteriorate just a bit, likely becoming a strong typhoon as it weakens by the time we go into the midnight hour. By Sunday morning, we are expecting the storm to be off the shoreline, but the influence will still be along the Kanto region into the Tohoku region along the eastern coastline. So for those of you who are watching into areas north like Ibaraki Prefecture, Miyagi Prefecture, Iwate Prefecture, you're going to be seeing this influence continuing, especially toward the evening hours and through the morning hours on Sunday. By the time we go into the midday hours, we are looking at the storm to be moving way out to sea, and the wind should weaken as we progress through the day. But again, we're already seeing the impacts of the storm so great that we are seeing damage and power outages. Thousands of people already losing power, and that is part of the problem here. We have storm alerts posted for heavy rain. That includes all of the Kanto region, portions of the Tohoku region back toward the Tokai and Kinki region, and even portions of Hokuriku now placed under a warning level. We do have level 4, what we call evacuation orders or shelter orders, because of the fact that the concerns are quite great in many of these areas. On top of that, because of the heavy rain, flood warnings are now in place for the Kanto area and back toward the west into Tokai and Kinki. If you're near a river, the same applies for you as those of you on the coastline. You need to make sure you know how to get to higher ground as soon as possible, because the rivers are rising and the rain that's going to be pouring into the area will lead to major flooding problems as we go throughout the day. And the problem with flooding is it takes days for the water to actually recede, so that's part of the problem as well. Gale force winds in terms of the storm alerts are expanded through a good portion of Japan along Honshu into places back toward Kyushu as well, the northern areas of Kyushu, the Fukuoka, and also the Saga Prefecture, Oita Prefecture, and Yamaguchi Prefectures, all seeing the warnings right now for strong winds, gale force winds. And then, all the way up into places like Miyagi Prefecture and Iwate Prefecture, all of you seeing right now the wind warning when it comes to the impacts of storm. Like I said, this is a large storm. It's going to have that type of impact for the area as we go forward throughout the next several hours. We're talking about winds being an issue for at least the next let's say 18 hours or so. It will still be breezy after that window for those of us in the Kanto area, but then as we progress through the day, the winds will start to weaken as the storm moves to the north and east. The storm surge storm alerts right now include anywhere from Chiba Prefecture to Tokyo, Kanagawa, and Shizuoka prefectures. All of you need to make sure you're away from the coastline. The part of the concern is we may be dealing with some tide issues as we go throughout the evening hours when the storm actually comes on shore. That just accentuates and it actually makes it even worse. So we have that concern coming up, and also we even have some concerns over into the Osaka Bay area over near Hyogo Prefecture, where we're going to be dealing with the storm surge concern as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon. Folks, when I say make sure you shelter in place and be prepared for the storm, I mean it. At this point, preparations are over. You need to be in a safe location. Here's a look at the wave forecast from the Japan Meteorological Agency. This is for tonight at 9 o'clock. This is when we are actually expecting or likely seeing the storm coming on shore, if not already on shore by an hour or so. We'll have to wait and see how the core actually wobbles in terms of the actual center. But notice, we're looking at the Tokyo Bay area, down toward Chiba Peninsula, and also back toward the Kanagawa, Shizuoka area, right near the Izu Peninsula, waves exceeding 10 meters. When you have a storm with that much momentum, because it's moving relatively quickly, and it's taking all that wind force with it, it's going to really push that water up. And when you talk about the tide mixing with it, we're talking about the high wave concerns as well, to where we're going to be seeing storm surges that are going to really cause some damage along the coastal areas. So if you're anywhere in the coastal areas, you need to get to higher ground and be prepared, as the waves are going to be very high with the storm surge going forward in time. So here's a look at the Tokyo forecast, but this is the forecast pretty much anywhere from the central to the eastern portions of Japan. Just be prepared that the next several hours, things are just going to get worse and worse. Rain, strong winds will continue to pick up as we go through the 3 o'clock hour in Japan. And then as you go to a 6 o'clock hour, especially for those of you, Shizuoka points eastward, you're going to really see the winds picking up, the rain really picking up, because of the fact that the core of the storm will be coming on shore. Then by 9 o'clock, that's when I think Tokyo proper and areas northeast will really start to feel it, simply because at that point the storm is likely to be on shore, and the strongest core of the storm, the strongest portion of the storm, the right front quadrant, will be moving through the eastern and central and northern areas of the Kanto region as we go throughout the mid-evening hours going toward midnight. So folks, let me emphasize to you once again, if you are not in a safe location and you think, oh, well, right now it's okay, the storm is coming. It's already had its impact. We're already seeing video of damage in the area. We are already hearing reports of people who have been injured and one person who has died because of the impacts of the storm. We want you to be safe. I usually don't post videos with this type of concern. I typically try to keep things relatively calm, just saying FYI, this is what's happening. But this storm has the potential to cause a lot of serious impact for this area. Pray for the folks here, especially for the folks in Chiba Prefecture, because they're the ones who really can't take this kind of... In fact, many of the damage reports that are coming in are from houses that are taking the damage, and now any type of covering that they had, whether it was a blue tarp or a blue sheet on top of the houses, that's being blown over, and then there's additional damage taking place after that. So this is a storm that, for all the signs that we have, we want the storm to be able to stay offshore and to take this erratic track out towards sea. That's the best case scenario. I'd rather have that than have the forecast accurate. But right now, unfortunately, the forecast is panning out exactly as we're expecting it, which means you need to make sure that you take care of yourself. Your safety is first. We want to make sure that you get through this storm. And then by the time we're looking at what's happening on Sunday, I think that will be much better for all of us once we get the storm out of the country. So that is the update that I have right now as of the mid-afternoon hours. I will try to keep you posted online with either video updates or just posts throughout the rest of the day. You can also check out NHK World Japan. My colleagues, the weather team, are doing a great job, a fantastic job of keeping track of what's happening. And so if you need to have continued updates through video as well, they're the ones who are going to keep you posted when it comes to getting the news reports about what's happening. But I'll try to keep you posted on the weather side of things to help supplement that coverage so that you can be informed where you are located. That's a look at what's happening. I'm meteorologist Jonathan O. This has been a No and Go Storm Alert.